Christian anarchism frequently asks questions number 10. Doesn't God ordain human governments and approve of everything they do? So my answer here is going to be a short summary of material from my book, What Belongs to Caesar. A number of biblical passages have suggested to many readers that God meticulously plans everything that takes place, including who will lead nations. For example, in Daniel 2:21, the prophet Daniel praises the God who, quote, removes kings and sets up kings. A straightforward literal reading of Romans chapter 13, and you can see frequently asked question number 3 for more on that, also suggests that God establishes all political authority, and that anyone doing the right thing has nothing to fear from the state. Other passages argue that God uses government to punish those who do evil, including the Israelite kingdoms in Isaiah 10:5-19 and 2 Kings 24-2. But the same book of Daniel, which tells us that God removes and sets up kings, also tells us that he delegates his authority to others, for instance, his angelic servants. Quote, the sentence of Babylonian King Nebuchadnezzar losing his mind and being deposed is by the decree of the Watchers, which are higher level angelic beings, the decision by the word of the Holy Ones. End quote. That's Daniel 4:17. The background of this claim that higher level angelic beings shape nations is Deuteronomy 32:8-9, which informs us that God gave the nations over to angelic beings to manage. Psalm 82 adds that these beings mismanaged the nations and led them astray, while Daniel 10 says that empires rise and fall based on the actions of these spiritual beings. The ability to raise up political leaders is also described in Scripture as having been delivered to Satan. Quote, and the devil took Jesus up and showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time, and said to him, to you I will give all this authority and their glory, for it has been delivered to me, and I give it to whom I will. If you then will worship me, it will all be yours. That's Luke 4:5-7. Finally, humans also make their own decisions which shape the destiny of nations. Isaiah 47:5-15 tells us that God's intention to use Babylon to punish Judah also involved decisions from Babylon's leadership that God did not approve of. So how can it be that God, Satan, angels, and human beings can all be said to control the rise and fall of kings and kingdoms? The answer seems to be found in the complex relationship between the sovereign God and his free creations. We make our choices, but nothing can happen without God's permission. He acts and allows according to the goal of his ultimate plan and purpose. That's why Genesis 50:20 argues that what men mean for evil, God intends for good. All of this leads us to ponder a question. If God can work through any system, no matter how good or evil, why could he not work just as easily through a freer or even stateless society? Why should we think that God positively ordains a Hitler or a Stalin or even a Joe Biden and stands behind everything they do, but he would, abominate a voluntary system? Perhaps more importantly for our context, while we live under the system we do, should we obey evil commands from wicked rulers? To answer this question, I would appeal to Acts 5:29. We must obey God rather than human beings. And that's my answer.